Okay, so let's do something a bit more interesting now. So I'm just gonna delete this node by pressing Control Delete, and I'm gonna add another one, Control Tab, and let's start with using a very simple node called text. So text will just write some text. Incidentally, it can't actually write text. It can only write numbers or mathematical expressions. So for example, I could write 2, or I could write like 2 plus 2. Okay. And if I run this script, pressing Control space, you'll see here in the console that it printed the expression. Okay. I can create another node by pressing Control Enter, and this will add a sibling. We'll add a node at the same level, and let's add another text, for example, 5, text 5. Okay, so let's run it, Control space. So you see that we printed 4 and then 5. Okay, again, not very impressive yet. But now let's see. Let's create. Let's do something a bit more exciting. Let's say that I press Control E, and here instead I will press. I will print the number of seconds. So I'll go text $second seconds. Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing here is that by using the $, I'm actually referring. This is something that you'll see often in other constructions. $sign will refer to some variable in the Blackboard, and you'll see that there is a built-in variable called second, which lists the number of seconds. So I run it, and it types 4 and then 1670.99, which is the number of seconds since we started. Okay, so let's see how we can maybe use some other kind of variable and create our own Blackboard variable. So to create a Blackboard variable, one way is to create a node called Blackboard set, and this one will just create a new, we'll set actually a Blackboard variable to a certain value, and if it doesn't exist, I'm going to create it. I'm just going to create a variable called var, okay, and I'm going to set it to value 10, and I'm going to write text $var, okay, to print it. So I run it, you'll see that it print 4, the number of seconds. Then the Blackboard was set to 10, and then I print the variable 10. If I edit it and go, I go 2 times var, 2 times $var instead, I run it, you'll see that it, like I can do all kinds of mathematical operations. If I want to do, so these expressions are evaluated in JavaScript. If I want to use some like other sort of math operators, like I don't know, like the square root, for example, I have to go and type math.sqrt $var, and hopefully for most of these things it's gonna work. So here's the square value, square root. It's 2 times the square root of 10. Okay. All right. So we're gonna try one last thing. I'm gonna introduce another kind of node called delay. Okay, and a delay just waits for a certain number of seconds. So delay 1 will wait for 1 second. And what I'm gonna do, I want to move it to the top of the file. So I'm gonna select it and press Control, and then using the arrow key, I'll move it to the top. See what happens if I run it. You see that so it went really fast. I'm just gonna increase. I'm gonna say delay 5, for example, just so that we have the time to see. Control space. So see that now while, let me pause it. So while it's not done, this delay function, it waits for a certain number of seconds. Well, while it's still not done, it will return the running state. So it's running, and when it's going to be done, it's going to succeed and then allow for the other operations to happen. Again, this delay node can, be parameterized by using other Blackboard variables. So if I bring it down here and I change it and I say delay for var, you'll see that in this case it will wait for 10 seconds because var is 10. Another thing I can mention is that let's say that I'd like to get rid of these two elements here, but let's say that I don't want to actually remove them. Each node has this little circle here. If you press it, it's just going to deactivate it. So you'll see that these two at the top won't get activated this time. Okay. So they're kind of like, they allow you to, these circles allow you to enable and disable the nodes. Okay, and finally before, so I'm going to just save the sketch here. I'm going to save it here, let's say to the desktop. Whatever, you can give it the name that you want. Also, I want to mention that there is, in case there's a crash, there's an autosave option. If you type Control-O, you can open your file here, but if you go inside the data folder in patches, you'll see there's this file called temp.txt. This is the result of the autosave. It autosaves every minute, more or less. So this is what we had in that sketch a minute ago. So you can always find back if there's a problem, there's a crash. You can always you won't lose everything.